What's up guys, I have something to show you. Check out this custom Pro controller. It is actually matte finish. I don't know if you can tell from the lighting. Green and teal. So I kind of thought these were unique colors. You can't really find this anywhere else. Just to let you guys have a better look at it up close. And then I also got two Joy-Cons, which are also custom colored, custom made. One green and white, and another that's blue and yellow. I got these from Colorware. I teamed up with Colorware to do a collaboration, so if you guys are interested in winning a free custom controller, all you have to do is follow Colorware on Twitter and Instagram to increase your odds of winning, and follow me on Twitter as well. Also make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. So this is going to be a Gleam contest, so it's going to be run by a robot. If you follow those accounts, you will get more entries into the contest, and I will be drawing a winner on Tuesday, January 7th. So I'll be drawing the winner on the 7th, so go look in the video description so that you can see which accounts to follow. Colorware on Instagram, Colorware on Twitter, Jtails on Twitter, and subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you win, you get to go on their website and create your own custom Joy-Cons or Pro controller for free, and it'll be shipped to you for free. So that's the contest we're doing. Just wanted to share with you guys. And now on to the tier list. What's up guys, Jtails here with another video, and it's about that time for egos to be hurt and fire to be spewed. Just as a quick disclaimer before a tier list video, any tier list video that I make, this is my personal opinion. You do not have to agree with me. In fact, if you want to disagree, that's fine. Do so in the comments. Please be respectful about it and present a case if you do disagree with me. Very quickly, I'm just going to explain what my tiers actually mean. So, insane many options. It means that I think this character just has an answer for every situation, and I think this character can win a national tournament on their own. No secondaries needed. You know, no counter picks needed. These characters are so strong that they can probably top 8 and win a major, right? The second tier strong means kind of, you know, maybe not as oppressive as the people on the top, but really strong, can probably top 8 a major on their own without the need for secondaries. But in some cases you might need a secondary if you are playing these characters, and can still do really well at a national, right? Mid, kinda limited. It means that I think this character is limited, that no matter how good you are with the character, there's still a certain cap that that character can reach. And I don't think this character can win a national. Maybe they can, you know, top 16 or top 32 a major. Probably for sure, actually. But as for winning it, I don't think so with all the diversity and the talented player that knows the matchups. Generally, characters in this tier are going to be like, well, if your opponent knows your weaknesses and knows the matchup, you're going to have a really hard time. And the reason that these characters tend to do well is because people don't know what the hell they're doing when they're fighting them, against them, right? Weak tools, very limited. So just as another thing to claim, I think that any character in this game, doesn't matter where I place them, I think any character in this game can win a local. So if you are a player, you're going to your local tournaments, please don't get discouraged. Play whoever you want to play. Take these kinds of things with a grain of salt. It's not an attack on you. You know, you don't even have to even adhere to what I'm saying. It's just my personal opinion that I'm sharing with you. I think that characters in this tier can still win locals. Like, I think that you can win a local tournament with the worst character in the game. Can you win a national or a major? Probably not. I think that these characters are just quite limited in their game plan and the number of tools that they have. They just, you know, kind of have situations where they fall apart completely. Costumes is just like alternate costumes. I'm keeping Pokemon Trainer as one. Obviously Alpha and Olimar are the same. Peach and Daisy are the same. And then of course Simon, his Holy Water doesn't kill red Pikmin, and Richter's Holy Water doesn't kill blue Pikmin. But aside from that, guys, I'm just gonna get right into it. So one of the most limited characters in the game, and I'm really sorry to say this, I think is Isabelle. I think Isabelle is, I mean, she's so adorable. I don't know why they don't buff her more, but you know, she just has no hitbox recovering, like very limited moves, very little range. And her setups are kind of, you know, easy to beat. You just poke the down B on the ground, like you can down tilt it. And, you know, she's either going to try to grab you or side B you when you do that. But that's it. She just runs away, plants down B, and throws the fishing line, right? And that's the character. So kind of just very straightforward, very, very limited. She doesn't have a lot of answers for certain situations. I think that Mii Sword Fighter, you know, yeah, there are some good sets, but regardless, I still think the character is quite limited. Obviously, we have the Gale Wind into up B, but that's like the scariest thing that this character has. And on that same vein, I'm also going to go ahead and put Mii Brawler here, because I think that same deal, kind of very limited. It's like, yeah, he's kind of like a Mario, but doesn't have really many combos, doesn't really get the same reward that Mario gets. It's just a very straightforward in his approach and kind of very limited options for many situations. Alright, this is a controversial one. So here's the thing. Here's my deal on the Ice Climbers. Obviously they have 0 to death grabs, right? You can get the grab and then instantly kill your opponent. But do you know how difficult that is to do in this game? The amount of technical ability you need to have. I still haven't really seen many players even utilize this in a real serious situation. You'll see all these training mode combos with Ice Climbers, and you'll see none of them do it in tournament, or none of them do it in a real match, because it's that difficult and you need Nana to be alive, right? So even if an Ice Climbers player does get that good and they master the 0 to death grab, they're gonna patch it out, right? So this character is always gonna, like, in base form, is just gonna stay on the bottom. They're just not, you know, they're just not that great in this game, unfortunately. And maybe fortunately, right? Because we don't want that, you know, one grab thing to kind of be a thing in this game. Speaking of grabbing people once and killing them, Luigi. Yeah, all Luigi's just fish for the grab. Why? Because he can get like insane damage off of it, or even just kill you instantly. His recovery is one of the worst in the game. His disadvantage state, he has no options on the way down, and he has really poor air mobility. Like, he can't really drift. So this kind of really hurts him because he can't escape dangerous situations. And, you know, his game plan is just get the grab, and I'm gonna be really good with this one setup. And if I'm not, then I'm even worse, right? But Luigi has a 0 to death grab, and he still doesn't win. Like, think about that. He grabs you once and you die, and he still loses the game. So that's just really bad. Like, if he didn't have a 0 to death, I would say he's the worst character in the game, or close to it rather. Bowser Jr. I also think is pretty limited. I'm not, you know, limited doesn't mean bad. Limited just means lack of options in certain situations, lack of tools. And yes, he has the Mecha Koopa, he has, you know, up B and Cannonball, all which lose to the shield button, which kind of stink. Bowser Jr. kind of loses to patient gameplay if you kind of just sit there. Like, he gets juggled and comboed a lot, and he can't tech out of the clown car, so when he's recovering, that's a guaranteed kill on him. If you notice, most of these characters that are going to be in this tier have some of the worst recoveries in the game. That might be foreshadowing, but yeah. And I know there are players like Taternator and Ketchup that are putting Bowser Jr. on the map and doing really well. Not talking about, you know, really talented players that, you know, can make these limited characters work. I'm talking about the grand scheme of things, right? So we can always find, you know, cherry pick the really good players of a certain character and say, oh, but this player does well. And it's like, you know, that might be for a few reasons. Like, number one, maybe they're just a really, really good player, or they've been playing a character for you know, 5-6 years, since Smash 4, since Brawl, and they have a lot of experience over a lot of other players. That doesn't mean the character is great, it just means that that player is putting him on the map. Secondly, matchup inexperience, right? If people know the matchup and they're still losing, then that says something. But if someone doesn't know the matchup and they're getting bodied by gimmicks and tricks, that's not the character being good. That's just you playing off of your opponent's lack of knowledge, which is not a reflection on the character. Dr. Mario, once again, really poor recovery, just kind of really slow all around, so you can kind of see what's coming from him. Even though he's super powerful, And he's scary. He's a really scary character to fight. I still think he's limited in the grand scheme of things, mainly because of his recovery and he's slow. And he doesn't have a lot of combos either, so it's hard for him to rack up damage. Duck Hunt Dog. So yeah, well, again, a recovery that doesn't have a hitbox. I know he can air dodge at the end of it. He has Can that comes out frame 1, which can be a good combo breaker, but that's like his one tool, right? Otherwise, he's a zoner and kind of has to rely on people not knowing how to get around his wall. Obviously, Raito putting Duck Hunt Dog on the map, he's kind of the only one, especially in Ultimate. There were a few others in Smash 4, but even then, not a lot really happened with this character. K. Rool. So, he just got buffed recently, and he's actually really scary. Scary to fight against. Obviously, the super armor is a nice addition. He kills early. He's a heavy weight. His recovery is good, right? So these kind of sound like the things that make a character good, right? But just like he can't really do anything to you in neutral, right? He'll like throw crown, throw cannonball, but from there, what does he do to get the first hit? How can he mix me up? He kind of can't. It's just he can punish me for my mistakes, but if I play perfect or play really solidly, K. Rool just has a really hard time landing hits, you know what I mean? I just think he's a limited guy for the most part. You can spike him out of his up B if your timing is really good and you understand how it works. Okay, this might be needless to say, but Sheik could be insanely good in this game, guys. But just the damage output, like Sheik can literally hit you 10 times and that's like 15 damage. You know what I mean? She has to work so hard. She has to work so much harder than many other characters in the game for just a little bit of damage, and she has a hard time killing too. I think that Sheik is, while she has a lot of options, and I don't think she's limited, I just think her tools are weak, if that makes sense, right? With just a few adjustments and a few buffs, I think she could really go up to this strong category in the game, but for right now, as to where she stands, I think she's going to stay here for a little while longer. And I'm going to start organizing these characters from left to right after I fill up the entire tier, so you guys can see my full perspective on the ordering. Captain Falcon, you know, just really linear dash attack or down throw, right? That's all he's going to do. And granted, he has really good burst options and speed. Off stage, he's really bad. His recovery, you know, is very limited, very exploitable. He doesn't have a projectile, so he always has to approach. And when he approaches, you know he's gonna dash attack or dash grab, right? He doesn't really have any other methods of applying pressure. It's just those two things, and you know it's always gonna happen, and that's it for the most part. So obviously he has Falcon Kick and Raptor Boost, but those are all kind of the same thing. You hold shield and you punish him afterwards, so just a little limited in my opinion. I don't think there's any bad characters in this game, so I just want to reiterate that because I know people feel offended that I'm putting their mains on limited. Jigglypuff has kind of been bottom tier, or yeah, bottom of the barrel, low tier, whatever you want to call it, since Brawl. Even though they did just buff her and she can combo into rest even easier now, makes her really scary. I actually fought Hungrybox at TwitchCon, and we only played one match. I was using a pro controller. You know, it was like last stock. I was winning by like 100%, and then he got the one hit and I missed my tech on the platform because I was using the Pro controller and not the GameCube controller. So I thought shield was grab because they're inverted, and I missed my tech, and then he jab locked me, sing, rest, and I died at like 55, right? He popped off. It was super exciting. Like I'm saying, guys, like you can lose to characters that are very limited, but in the grand scheme of things, I think that they are going to lose more often than they win, especially against higher tier characters. I was playing Lucena. Super cruddy matchup for Jigglypuff, right? So, yeah. She just is going to approach you from the air most of the time, and you just wall her out with hitboxes or kind of like stay out of her range, and she doesn't have any projectiles, any way to burst option or to like trick you. It's just spacing. The whole matchup's just spacing and walling out. That's it. And whoever does that better as a player wins. On that same vein, Kirby. Pretty limited, not really too many combos. Recovery trajectory is very predictable and punishable. I mean, they keep buffing him, which is really good. I think he should keep getting buffed so that he can be better. He just has low horizontal air mobility. He can't really like get down to the ground, or low damage output, even though his knockback's really good. And his tools are, they're lackluster, right? Like neutral B, down B, up B, all very telegraphed options in my opinion. Our boy, Little Mac, can kill you at, you know, 20%, which is insane, but you can knock the KO punch out of him, and aside from that, he can't really fight in the air, he can't land, and he can't recover. So all these limitations are just kind of unfortunate for him if the opponent knows the matchup and knows how to really punish these situations. Mac just has a really tough time. Alright, you guys are really gonna hate me for this one. I know some of you guys are face palming right now, but listen, his recovery is almost as bad as Little Mac's. He does not snap to the ledge. Even if you do the invincible, you know, charge rising tackle, guys, there's a window of time that he can get spiked. And a lot of people don't know how to time this or don't know how to punish this. You know, you just get him off stage. He's just like Little Mac. Get him off stage and he can't recover really, if you know what you're doing. On stage, just kind of hold block, right? Because at low percent he gets combos off of grabs, but after low percents, what is he gonna do to you? Grab you? Who cares, right? And he's just looking for jab, jab, you know, power dunk, jab, jab, rising tackle. He just wants to jab your face, right? But as long as you're shielding, he can't do that. And off stage, he's literally one of the worst characters in the game. So that's my opinion on Terry. I know you guys are gonna be mad at me, but I gotta speak my truth, man. Another character that you guys are gonna be really mad at me for, Hero. I actually honestly believe that Hero is a very limited character. Off stage, has a terrible recovery. He has to pause to charge the wind. You can spike him. If you understand timings and you understand characters' vulnerabilities, you can just know when they have to press up B and then spike them and kill them. Maybe it's because I play Lucena and Ness, and those characters are pretty good at going off stage. I don't know. I just find that to be a limiting factor. His side B is really good for controlling space, but again, you know, he runs out of mana, he can't really do much. Yes, I know he has crazy weird mechanics that can kill you at 20%, but those are the exception, right? They're not the rule. They're like, yeah, okay, he got lucky, he got a free stock on me, but what else is he gonna do in neutral? Dash dance, you know, look at the menu and charge neutral B. Other than that, Hero doesn't have good like speed. He's kind of like Ike, where Nair is going to be his main option, and you just block that and punish him, or, you know, just use your shield a lot, respect his options, and he can't really mix you up in a dangerous way. Also, joining us on this tier, I know this one hurts me too, guys, but I do think that Me Gunner is pretty limited, just kind of like a worse Samus in my opinion. You know, I just don't think that the options are strong enough to warrant being that big of a threat in this game. If you understand how to fight zoners and you respect missiles, and you kind of know how to deal with the moves at hand, Me Gunner doesn't have a lot to work with, unfortunately. This big boy is also going to join us, DDD. You know, Gordos are a thing. Obviously, you can hit them back at him and he can inhale them. But the main thing that people get caught off guard is that he has 5 jumps, so a lot of DDDs will just start jumping up really high, and when you go to hit them, they'll try to throw Gordo at you, so you trade. But if you kind of know how this works and you hit him from under, or you just read his jumps, he has a really hard time escaping pressure. He doesn't have very many options to like survive. Like, he has multiple jumps, and then you know the trajectory of his up B. He can't really hurt you with the up B if you hit him when he reaches the top. Granted, he's a big body, but still, in my opinion, quite limited when it comes to his game plan and what he wants to do, right? Also, another big boy. And it's nice that they buffed his recovery. I think that brings him from like out of the bottom 5 in the game to a little bit stronger. But for the most part, still think Incineroar needs some help. He's scary to fight against, but just doesn't have a lot of option coverage in his game plan. Escaping disadvantage. Yes, he has revenge, but you can wait for it and then, you know, kind of punish him. So that's troublesome. A lot of people are going to be really mad. I'm sorry to the Yoshi community, but I have to do this to you. Yoshi. I know you guys are not going to be happy, but Yoshi's pretty damn limited. All his attacks come from the air. His projectile, you know, you just block it and then move on with your life. Everything that he does, maybe I'm just really good at the matchup and that this is a biased opinion, but everything that he does, you can see it coming 2 seconds before he does it, right? His attacks always come from the air, so you can shield or dodge on the ground and punish him. His recovery is pretty good, and he has a good advantage state, but not great at ledge trapping. Neutral's subpar. Recovery is good, but either he's going to take damage or he's going to get gimped if the opponent understands the way that he works off stage for the most part. So that's everybody, I think, in very limited. I'm going to start arranging these characters around a little bit. Definitely think Isabelle is on the weaker end of the spectrum. I think Yoshi's probably going to be one of the strongest in this area. So will be some of these guys, not Doc. Doc can go over here. But yeah, something kind of like this, right? Like Isabelle, probably like this being my bottom 3, maybe something like this. But yeah, these are kind of like my top dogs right here. Like up until Jigglypuff, I think, like after Jigglypuff, I think there's a big drop off in tier, and then but like these are like very close to mid in my opinion. So yeah, so that's that. Let's move on to the middle category.